Welcome to Michelle's Opinions. Before we get started, quick announcement. I do have Super Chat available for anybody who would like to do a Super Chat. That would be amazing. I could really use the help. Also, in the show more notes, there is other ways to help keep this channel going. I appreciate all support, and it is accepted with such gratitude. Thank you. Today on Michelle's Opinions, we're going to talk about personal trauma. It puts everything into perspective. When someone endures personal trauma, loss in a family member, horrible accident that has left them injured or possibly incapacitated for the rest of their life, something has happened to a family member diagnosed with some kind of an illness that, takes a front seat to everything. It tends to really clear up your perspective. The pettiness and the minute things of catty behavior, mistreating people, things like that, that all falls away. You realize how petty, how small, how insignificant that kind of behavior is, and you walk away. Instead of polarizing, which most people are either talking that you need to choose a side. You're either on the side of the light or the side of the dark, not thinking that this place is a combination of both, and so are we. And that is why we have our sovereignty and our free will, so we can make the best choices for our situation and our experience with our sovereignty. So when things are happening and somebody isn't treating you fairly or unjustly judging you, you have the right to walk away. You have the right to just free yourself of that burden in your life. And when you're dealing with personal trauma, and we can go into where the whole country is traumatized by an event, and how it opens up doors for mind control, because you can get people to polarize in those situations and make it easier to control people. But what I'm talking about here is personal trauma, personal traumatic events that happen to each and every one of us as a part of life, as a part of our expansion and our learning experiences, and what it does to the individual. The understanding that you get, the understanding of what is good for you and what is just unhealthy, and why tolerate unhealthy situations when life is so short. Losing a loved one puts things into perspective on the fragility of our lives. Also, the importance of each and every one of us. So when somebody's not treating you fairly, walk away. You don't deserve that. It's not that you're pointing fingers at them. It's that you don't deserve it. You did nothing to it. That person just, if they rub you the wrong way, walk away. Just walk away. You don't need it. Because that's one thing that is for sure. It puts everything into clear view. Once the trauma has wore off of the initial news, we'll call it getting the news. Once that is wore off, a clarity comes upon you like none other. The eyes to see. And then you realize maybe you were polarized. Thinking that you needed to be loving and kind and polarized to the light, helping everyone. Well, the clarity came into me that each of us are on our own paths, which I've known that for a while. But forcing help onto somebody who does not want it, appreciate it, or care for it is not healthy. So that's when you need to know just to walk away, wash your hands of it. They don't appreciate it anyways. There are some people that will spitefully use you because they know that that's the kind of person that you are. So they know they will continually come back and have you settle all their problems for them instead of learning the lesson. And it's tough love when you have to break away and have somebody fall, and you have to watch them fall, especially if it's somebody that you love, for them to learn the lesson to be able to take care of themselves and become self-sufficient instead of codependent. Part of the learning experience here is to become a sovereign being with free will, able to make your own decisions and take care of yourself. Excuse me. So if we're constantly helping somebody out of jams and things like that, even if it is our own children, our loved ones, well, then what good are we doing to help them overcome their issues? This is why I'm talking about personal traumas. When you have a personal trauma, a traumatic event, things come into such clarity that you're like, oh my gosh, what was I doing before? Polarity, polarizing, choosing one side as good and one side as bad is unhealthy. But choosing what is good and what is bad for yourself is healthy. Notice the difference. One has to do with a personal choice on your sovereignty and your free will. The other is giving up your sovereignty and your free will because the world says that this is what is right and good and this is what you should do. Not thinking for yourself. Hive mind. Now, connecting with one another in our hearts is what we want to be doing. And when somebody needs a lift up, absolutely, we lift that person up. But if they're continuously coming back for more and more and more and more, what good are you doing for that person? These are things that we need to think about. If you're around somebody and you just feel when you walk away that you are just wore out, could possibly be because no matter what you say, they're not there for advice. They just want to offload on you, pretty much suck up your energy, and when they've got their fill, they walk away. Do we have to tolerate that? No. Because if they truly wanted an answer or advice, they would take the wisdom, apply the wisdom into their life, and then the problem would resolve itself. But if they're continuously coming back with the same problems, the same issues, and you're walking away just drained, you get a headache being around them, the situation, it's just out of control, walk away. They're not there for the right reasons. So think about these things and think about how when a personal traumatic event happened to you, the clarity that you got. And we all fall back into it. We fall back into these hive mind patterns. I've had several traumatic events, and I've fallen right back into the polarization, thinking that we all need to please everybody all of the time. And that is not true. That is not healthy for us, and it is not true. You need to take care of you first. We always need to get our own house in order before we could even think about helping another. So that's what my thoughts and opinions are on personal trauma. And I'm talking from experience, guys. The experience that I'm talking from, I wish on nobody. But it definitely was an eye-opening experience. Once I got through the trauma, I realized that I was polarized, and allowing others to affect me from the outside, when actually everything I need is from within. Any knowledge, wisdom, we have the capability of going directly to the link through prayer and meditation to get the answers that we seek. And if you've polarized that you have to be this way all the time, balance is good. But balance doesn't mean that you're always on the right or the left side. It means you maintain, like walking a tightrope, and you're in balance. You are able to discern when somebody is sucking your energy, using you, and taking advantage of you, because they see that you have polarized yourself. And in order for you to stay in your own head of what you think is good and right, you then fall, as into bad patterns of trying to be a people pleaser, to the point where you're sacrificing your own happiness and allowing others to abuse you and mistreat you. So this one is mainly, I just want to get the point across that not everybody on this planet with us, whether it is flat or round, has the best of intentions for us. It's great that we're all heading in a direction where we are coming from the heart and we are connecting with the heart. As in the dreams I'm having, that many are getting their doctor's uniforms. I want to tell you another dream. Well, it's actually been a sequence of dreams where I'm preparing meals. This has been going on for years now. And a lot of times I'm either skating, or it feels like I'm skating or gliding. And I've went through from making the starter courses, and then we were making the main courses. And last night the dream was desserts. I was making desserts. They were cupcakes, as a matter of fact. And they were all unique. Each cupcake had a different look to its the frosting on the top. It was a light, fluffy frosting, and all designed uniquely. It was amazing. But by going through these different dream sequences over these years, I was always asking my husband, why am I always making meals? And I'm talking about like bulk cooking, like cooking for a massive feast. And I wasn't the only cook in the kitchen. There was other people in there also cooking in the kitchen. We were cooking in the kitchen together. And last night I was in charge of making the desserts, and it was cupcakes. So that kind of gives me, the confirmation. I always seek for confirmations, but I do not allow the confirmations to determine whether I'm going to take action or not. I use my discernment on whether I'm going to take action and what I need to do at that moment. We have inner guidances. We have inner compasses. We get these gut feelings for a reason. We can feel with the empathy that we have within us what is going on within another individual on whether they are healthy for us or whether we need to steer clear. And if you're polarized, you're going to try to, mend that fence to the point at your own demise. If you have taken that person aside as a one-on-one, then tried to talk to them with a mediator or a witness, then the third thing that we're to do is to publicly talk about it and then walk away and be done. And that's biblical. So, and it's in many of the different books, and there is wisdom in these books. I know a lot of people say, "Oh no, not the Bible," or "Oh no, not Christianity," and "Oh no." No, there is good and wisdom in each of them. It's the way that you interpret what you're reading is what makes all the difference in the world. So there are some basic instructions there that do help us navigate this place in order to, as some would call, level up and to move on. But if you're still stuck in polarization and saying this is good and this is bad, this is good, this is bad, and saying I'm only going to be on the good side and I'm not going to touch, taste, smell, or engage in that other side because I deem it evil. Well, we have natural abilities of knowing right and wrong. When it comes to children, we are to protect them. When it comes to, hurting one another, we're not to do that. Do not encroach your will over somebody else's sovereignty. If you're doing those kind of things, well then, that's where discernment comes in. When you know that you're just going in and using and sucking the life force out of somebody else. And that's what they're doing. And if you're allowing it because you've polarized and think that is what life is supposed to be about, or you're not going to get into heaven, well, then the discernment that is also talked about in the Bible is not within you, and you need to seek for it. And I hope it doesn't have to be a personal traumatic event to help give you the clarity. But don't think that you're going to go through life without any personal traumatic events, because that is also a part of this place. This place is one big illusion, and it is here for us to learn and grow and expand and reach those higher highs. But to reach those higher highs, experience those lower lows. So, but when it comes to people, they're here for the same type of experience that you are. And do not get polarized. Love those who love you. Love those who despitefully use you. But that doesn't mean that you have to sit there and endure abuse from another person. You have the right to walk away. Love them from a distance. Keep all your thoughts into captivity and make sure that your intentions are pure. If you want to be the alchemist and the manifester that you are, then you have to know these fundamental basics in order to move forward. I don't sit here and wait for something above to tell me what to do and when to do it. That puts me in the status of stagnation and waiting on something else to again tell me how to become sovereign, and that's what we're here to learn. Taking your divinity back, that very spark, that flicker that is within you, that is ready to come to a blazing torch where you are completely transformed, but not through polarization. So I hope you guys got something from it. This is, my channel is more gearing towards my experiences and sharing, and still wanting people to come on and share their experiences. So it's kind of an ongoing progression of how things are going. So if you are a little confused on where we're at, maybe just go back a few videos and watch them so you can kind of get the rhythm of this channel. So that way you can understand where I'm coming from, where the teachings are coming from, where the understandings are coming from, and that will help you understand where my information is coming from. So, you guys, I do love everybody so much, but I have to love me before I can love anybody else. You may want to check out that video on love that I just did. How the Greeks had several different words for the different types of love, because our hearts are deep and there are so many different types of love. So, yes. On that note, guys, always share what you know so we can all listen and grow and realize that if you're finding yourself in a polarized state, that you can see it for what it is and snap out of it and become the sovereign, unique, beautiful being that you already are. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.